Welcome into beautiful Uptown Charlotte, North Carolina, the new home of the ACC and the home once again of the 2023 ACC men's basketball tip-off. We've got 2 sets, 15 coaches, and lots of players coming through for the next 9 hours. Come hang out all day long. ACC men's basketball tip-off starts now. We are going just down the road, not too far. Going to talk with head coach of the NC State Wolfpack, Kevin Keats, standing by, get his thoughts on his crew ahead of this year's season. Lots of things to be excited about this season in ACC basketball, and how about that side coming to you live all day long from Uptown Charlotte with the ACC men's basketball tip-off. We've got about 4 hours to go. I'm very excited about our next guest because we got the one and only NC State head coach Kevin Keats here on set with us. Coach Keats, it is always good to talk to you. I know you're excited about the guys you have coming back and some of the new faces. How are we feeling this time of the year, about 2 weeks away?
Well, thanks for having me. Before I start, you've always looked great. These 2 guys right here, they've come a long ways, man. I mean, they have come a long way.
Tell us more about him. You've seen him a long time.
Every time he starts telling stories.
You don't know where he's going to go.
I'm telling you, first thing I did when I walked up to the set, I was like, man, who dressed you guys? You look really good.
They do what they can. They do what they can. Your team, I'm sure, is looking pretty good. This is a good time of the year. Everybody's undefeated. Everybody's excited, pretty much healthy for the most part. How are the guys looking?
So our guys are working hard. You know, we're in this new world of college basketball where, you know, we got 7 transfers and 1 freshman and trying to blend everybody together, but excited about our group. Love the guys that we have who are competing every day.
Tell me about big DJ Burns and what's next for him. He was probably one of the more fun players last season.
We love talking to him.
Getting to that left hand, big DJ is so much fun to watch. Tell me about his development, what he's going to bring to the table this year.
So, Luke, you know, because you played for me, I've always been a really good guard coach. I let guards play. DJ Burns has helped me become a better big man coach. Maybe the best big man coach in the country now because of that.
I like that.
He's good. He's graceful. I think the really things that he's done this year that really I've been impressed with is his leadership. You know, he's one of the few guys in the country that you can throw the ball into and score with his back to the basket. He's been really showed a lot of leadership for us. He's done a great job with our locker room. He's going to be really good. He's improved. He's trimmed down. And he's done a good job, better job on the defensive end.
How tough is it to keep the locker room together when you do have 7 new guys? You know, it's just a different environment. Is it a player-led thing? Is it something you try and instill in the guys, kind of building the chemistry?
Yeah, Luke, it's like when you came to Hargrave. Think about that. Every year we had a new group of guys, and one of our challenges is trying to figure out how to get everybody on the same page a little bit earlier. This group's a little bit different than last year because we had Bahamas. We could, you know, practice for 10 days. We could go practice. We could play a couple games. So now we've had to do it a little bit with team bonding stuff, getting all, you know, being together on and off the court.
Well, Coach, you talk about being a guards coach. You lost 2 really good guards in Jarkel Joyner and Terquavion Smith. What are your expectations for Casey Morcell this season? Because he's a guy, we know he can shoot. He can get after it defensively, but I'm assuming that his next step is being more assertive on the offensive end.
Yeah, you know, that's a great point. 2 really good dynamic scorers. I don't have 2 guys that I think on any given night can go for 25 to 30. Casey is going to be huge on this team. I think he had his best statistical year last year, shooting about 41% from 3. His next step is being able to put the ball on the floor. I need him to get to the free throw line a little bit more, be a little bit aggressive, and his leadership, him and DJ's leadership is going to be so important for us.
I want to go back to DJ a little bit more in depth because you mentioned him slimming down and just what he means to this team. We talked to him last year. I can't remember who y'all had just beat. It was a big win. You're going to a nice restaurant. You're getting ice cream. He told us it was an Italian restaurant. He told us he was getting a salad. He wasn't. I mean, he's got to seem like he has such a good work ethic, such a good mindset, mentality. Or was he just lying to us because you're smiling and he had the ice cream anyways?
No, he got his salad after he ate that ice cream.
But how hard is he working for you?
You know, he is, first of all, he's a tremendous personality. I think when he gets done playing basketball, he could literally come back and be the mayor of Raleigh at some point.
I love it.
But he's worked extremely hard, and reason being is, you know, I think at the end of the year, going to the NCAA tournament, he had a little bitter taste in his mouth about the Creighton game because he didn't play well. And it's funny how certain things will motivate guys to become better.
You were one of the best teams in the country last year with not turning the basketball over. A lot of that has to do with your personnel, Jarkel Joyner and Terquavion. You know, you put those guys in space and let them go to work. This team's very different. Style-wise, how do you have to play offensively to produce some points?
Yeah, you know, this team is completely different, and I always warn people, you know, and I even I have to stop myself sometime because I'm saying Terquavion a lot or Jarkel a lot. I think what we have in this group is we've got 10 guys that I can put on the floor, and we'll have a little bit more balance. I don't think that, you know, those two guys average 17 points a game. I think we got, you know, 5 or 6 guys that can be around 10 to 12 points a game and a little bit more depth. I like the defense of this group. I think this group could be really stingy defensively, but, you know, we're going to need everybody to score on this team.
And Coach, talking about those 10 guys, you have a lot of versatility on your team where guys can play multiple positions. How will that help on the defensive end? Because you don't have Jarkel Joyner and Terquavion Smith that can take on that offensive load where you don't have to be as good defensively, but how will that versatility help this year?
Yeah, I think it's going to be great because for the first time in a long time, you think back to a few years when we had injuries, we were able to play DJ Funderburg and Manny Bates together. There are going to be times where you're going to see a Ben Middlebrooks in there at the 4, and you also Moma Diarra. And so we have a lot of interchangeable parts where I think where you'll see the growth in the team or the difference in the team, it's more at our 4 spot than it's ever been.
When you have depth, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Playing for you at Hargrave and then at Louisville, we pressed. We got after. Are you going to use that depth and try and get the pace going?
You know, Luke, I wouldn't be in coaching if I couldn't press. We're gonna. You know, I think, you know, last year we averaged about close to 15 points a game in fast break points. I think the best in the ACC. I would love for this team to even play faster than that. Defensively, we were very stingy. I think we were 1 or 2 in the league in steals. I think we have the ability to play that way. Our biggest thing with so many new pieces is trying to get everybody on the same page.
We're going to get to see it for the first time on November 6th as you guys start the season with the Citadel. Coach, we can't wait to see what you guys look like this year, and best of luck.
Well, do me a favor. You keep taking care of these guys.
I'll do my best. It's hard.
Because I know.
And then when we got Boozer in the mix,
I know.
mean.
I know. And hey, look, I know your back's hurting. You've been carrying those guys, but I appreciate.
They carry me. They do.
I appreciate you doing it, and thank you guys for having me on.
I appreciate you, Coach Keats. Still ahead here on Nothing But Net. We've got a couple more hours to go, and we've got a dynamic duo joining our dynamic duo, Packer and Taylor, downstairs in just a little bit. On the other side of this break, Casey Morsell, DJ Burns standing by.
We're going to read to the kids, you know, show them some love. Just really put it in perspective for them early that the Pack loves them, you know, show them some love.
All right, we're back here in Uptown Charlotte. DJ Burns, Casey Morsell. You guys doing a little reading, huh? You got to be fun with the kids, though. There's nothing better.
Oh, yeah, we love the kids, man.
Yeah, they were awesome. They were awesome. It was great kind of going in the city and getting to know them. And, you know, obviously, me and DJ, we're not from the Raleigh area, but just having the opportunity to go and see those guys, it was awesome.
How did that get started? Just out of curiosity sake.
That one was orchestrated by the coaching staff and our team, but we try to do little events like that and just go out and spread some love in the community. For us, it's more about people who don't get to come to our games, being able to interact with them. You know, they watch them and they become fans, but they may not be fortunate enough to make it. So we just try to go out and spread that love.
That's cool.
Before we even turn to the basketball thing, something that you did with Ernest Ross was pretty cool. You guys set up a meet and greet this summer,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
you decided, hey, all the proceeds are going to go to the Boys and Girls Club in Raleigh. Why did you decide to team up with Ernest to do something like that?
Me and him were having a conversation one day, and that's something like we both grew up in the Boys and Girls Club or the YMCA, and I don't know if there's too many programs like the YMCA, the one we had. So the next closest thing was the Boys and Girls Club. So we went in there and we did an NIL event there, and we were like, all these basketballs, they were beat up and old. So we were like, we're going to do the event, and then we're going to go in and just give them all new stuff. Just be able to give back to a community that did the same for us growing up.
So you donated your time just to meet people, and all that money went back. That's really special.
Yes,
It's really
ma'am.
cool stuff.
By the way, that reward you get, the smile on the kid's face, you can't put a price tag on that, can you?
They loved it, man. A lot of them were jumping around. It was kind of surprised because the first time we went in there, they were trying to act all cool, like act like basketball players, whatever, dude. And then by the end, they were jumping around. It was pretty cool.
They probably pretend like they could probably beat you too. I'm sure when they're probably like,
they talk the
we
most.
can dunk on you, trust me. Over to the basketball thing though. That's why we're here today. You guys representing your squad here in Charlotte. If you were to look ahead at the rest of the season, what would you say the word is that this basketball team is going to encompass as you lead into 23-24? One word.
Well, the one word that we use is art. It means accountability, relentless, toughness together. As that's part of our identity as you walk through the facilities that we have, and you might hear Keys mention it a lot. It's just trying to figure out who we are as a team, and that word is a word that kind of connects us, and through the good times and bad, we will always resort back to that word. So that kind of is the word that unites us and makes us one.
We've always had a good time with your head coach. I can only imagine he's a great guy to play for. I mean, I know you got to put in the work, and he can be tough on you when it's time, but especially wins on the road, he always has a good time and a good story with all that stuff. What's it like playing for Kevin Keats? Because he just seems like a tremendous dude behind closed doors.
I played for a lot of coaches, but I don't think there's ever been a coach that's more like personable as he is. I feel like if there's anything that I'm going through or that I need, he's the one coach that's made me feel the most comfortable being able to come to him with those things. He's someone he makes it easy to have a tough conversation, and he's someone that you can look up to, and not just from a basketball aspect as a coach, but someone you can respect as a person as well.
What kind of impact has he made on you, Casey?
Well, obviously just, the believing in me, right? I think,
Right.
coming from UVA and the whole transfer process, right? He was a guy who kind of took a risk, because my numbers and, my game wasn't as developed. So, he kind of took a risk and developed me in terms of, obviously with the shooting. I've seen, you've seen improvements in that area. So every year, I'm just trying to find an area that I can grow in, and he kind of emphasizes it and helps me grow in that area.
Casey, we've seen so many players who have transferred from another ACC school now. It used to be taboo, like, hey, if you're going to transfer, it's going to be outside the footprint or somewhere else. Now it's so commonplace, especially with the transfer portal.
Yep.
Is it uncomfortable in some respects, or is it just like, hey, we all know each other? I'm just kind of curious about the universe of the player now, especially given how easy it is to get up and go to a different school.
Yeah, like you said, it's part of the game now, right? Every team has that challenge of, having essentially a new roster come in, and now that that's part of the game, every team has been forced to kind of adapt. So as players, you've adapted. If you do go and, a player goes to, choose another school, it's part of the game, and everyone's, kind of used to the process of, adjusting fast to a new culture, a new situation.
It's kind of funny. We talked to Brad Brownell earlier today, and Clemson and NC State did swaps. It's kind of like an NBA light in some respects. It's like on the waiver wire. Well, we'll take him. Hey, you take this guy. Down the road we go. But it is really kind of a unique. For us, it's interesting because we follow the league. But for you guys, hey, you're out there with a front row seat, and it's kind of interesting to watch that whole transition take place.
For sure.
I know you've been walking around with these in your hand today.
Yeah.
He's got to bring the sunglasses now everywhere because they've just become part of you ever since last season. You came onto the scene with the glasses. Now you cannot part with them at all. How do you feel like, DJ, you evolved over the last year as a player and as a person?
Honestly, I feel like Raleigh just kind of embraced me. in the beginning, you know, they didn't know what to expect, but once I came out and I was able to showcase how I'm going to be for them, I think it was easy to gravitate towards. And the opportunities that have opened up since then have been crazy,
Right.
more than I could have ever asked for. And as a player, it's been motivating to know that there's a whole city behind you, and fans and a fan base like theirs is just ridiculous. You know, it's everything you would want as a player.
As far as the schedule goes, we've talked to everybody today about the ACC-SEC Challenge, which is something new and unique. But what it's like for you guys when the schedule is finally released and you say, hey, man, we're going to go play X, Y, or Z. What jumps out at us for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, as a team, we love our schedule, right? I mean, just as you see, we get, you know, Tennessee, Ole Miss, just, you know, and then you get a great opportunity in Vegas. And then even starting off with, you know, the smaller schools such as the Citadel, and those teams are all teams that help build a valid tournament resume. As you know, as you enter the ACC, like, you know, you want to have a valid non-conference to kind of always fall back on. So I mean, that's pretty much what propelled us to make it last year was our success in our non-conference.
So where do you think NC State falls in the pecking order? What's your gut tell you about where you guys think you're going to be here?
I don't think I'm a good person to answer that. 'Cause,
It's okay to have some
if
confidence.
you let me tell it, I don't feel like there's a game we should lose.
Well, there you go.
If we're going to play the way that we practice, and you know, with the culture that we're building this year and how we're redirecting things, I don't feel like there's a game we could lose.
DJ, let me tell you something. Anybody wearing Pit Viper sunglasses during an interview, if you didn't say that, I would have smacked those things right off your head, my man. You got to have the attitude that, hey, I'm wearing these and we're not going to lose a game. That's exactly what you're supposed to say.
So a lot of people will say, you know, no Terquavion Smith, no Jarkel Joyner, right? The backcourt is gone, at least those two.
Yeah.
What is this team going to look like then? If you were to describe, you guys have seen it behind closed doors, the way you're practicing, what's this team going to look like?
Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest things I would say is that we're going to be different. I'm not going to say, you know, we don't know if we'll be better or worse until, you know, we get out and start playing against live action. But, you know, the team will definitely be different. It will be a lot more, you know, versatility in terms of scoring, in terms of how we'll score the ball. Of course, we know we got DJ, and we'll play through him a lot. But just, you know, this team will definitely have to value things on the defensive end a lot more, and that has to be a staple of who we are.
It's a big responsibility for you. That's part of your game.
For sure, for sure. So that, like I said, man, that's definitely got to be part of who we are as a team, and not just me.
All right, I'm going to throw something on you, and I'm curious to see what your answer is going to be. I think it's really cool what NC State's going to do, unveiling the statue of David Thompson. Did I say David Thompson? That resonate with you guys?
Yeah, for sure.
It does?
Yes, sir.
You know who David Thompson is?
Yeah. I would say one of the best, if not the best, ever played there. Yeah.
Let me put those Pit Vipers on. I'll tell you, he's the best ACC of all time. Not one of. He is the best ACC basketball player ever.
By far.
All right, I'm just telling you.
100%.
Yeah.
Just imagine with those Pit Vipers on saying that to you.
I agree with that.
Yes, sir.
That's going to be a very cool event at the NC State. That's coming up on December the 6th.
Yeah, that is really cool.
Yes, sir.
All right, what's the rest of the day look like for you guys with Coach? Do we get ice cream on this kind of road trip? Or no ice cream? I know you don't do the ice cream
I don't do
thing.
it anyway.
You do the ice cream thing?
Just vanilla. Vanilla with sprinkles. That's why I like.
Rainbow sprinkles, chocolate sprinkles.
Gotta get the rainbow sprinkles.
Okay, thank you. Just making sure. I was going to judge you if not.
I remember we had DJ on the show.
He doesn't
We asked
do
you
ice
about
cream.
the ice cream. You're like,
Yeah.
no, man, that's not me.
I can't right now. I'm on a mission.
That's it. I'm proud. I remember
I wish
when
I
you
had
said
that kind of skill, yeah.
Listen,
no.
are you going to wear those for a game maybe one time?
Oh, yeah, for
Come up
sure.
to us.
Yeah, you got it.
I just want to see what it feels like to be you, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Check
try
those
it
out.
All right. I look ridiculous.
The Pit Vipers, that might be my thing this year.
look the
You
same
know, roll
now?
with the Pit Vipers.
Yeah, there you I can play hoops now?
Yeah, you can do something
Yeah,
with those.
right.
I guarantee you. All right, thanks, guys. I wish you the best. Stay healthy. All that great
Thanks,
stuff.
guys.
For having.
Good answer.
Folks, Kevin Keats has joined us. You're standing. We'll spend about 8 minutes with him, and then as the student athletes fold in, we will get them going. If you would, please identify yourselves and the name of the agency that you're with, and we'll spend about 8 minutes with our head coach. So who would like the first question inside the room? Seeing a hand right here to our right, Coach, second row against the wall.
Colby Trotter, the technician. Last year, you guys were one of the best transition teams in the country. Is that something you guys want to do again? And do you think this team could be like that?
Yeah, I think you've been listening in on my practice a little bit. We were good last year, and I didn't realize that until after the year. I think we were, right at 15 points a game in transition. And with this particular team, because we lost Jarkel Joyner, we lost Quavion Smith, I would love to play a little bit faster than that. And but we got to run. We got to figure out how to get some easy baskets as much as we can. So I would love to play that way.
Coach, still on the right, third row.
Hey, Coach. Scout Hughes, WBRF. Talk to me a little about MJ Rice coming to North Carolina State. How important is a player of his caliber to be on state squad? And then just how important is it to get a kid from the Triangle to NC State?
Yeah, I've known MJ Rice for at least 5 years and have followed him and recruited him and always admired the way he played. Super fast, very athletic, tough. Gets in the paint. He can really finish around the basket. And when he went into the portal, we had a really good conversation about coming home. Here's an opportunity to play in front of your home crowd, your family, and everything else. And he decided to come to NC State. Tremendous player, McDonald's All-American. I want you to think about this. He went to Kansas with the opportunity to play, and unfortunately it didn't work out in his favor. They had pretty good players who played in front of him, and I think eventually you're going to see a guy that's hungry and has the opportunity to kind of show people what he's really about.
Coach, to your left, third row against the wall.
Hey, Coach. Brian Murphy with WRAL. Commissioner Phillips earlier today said that he's not in favor of inviting all 18 teams to the ACC tournament. I wondered, as a coach, what your thoughts are on what the size of the tournament should be, and if it'd be good or bad not to have all the teams there.
Well, I think we should invite everybody. And here's my thought on that. I think what makes, if I ask you guys to say, tell me what makes the NCAA tournament so special. And everybody's going to say when the 16 seed is able to beat the number 1 seed, or 15-2. I just think when you play in a conference, somehow I hope that we can figure out, how to let everybody go, even if it means extending Tuesday one game or even adding a Monday to it. And you think about this now, we'll eventually get to 18 teams, and that 18 team has the opportunity to upset someone where they start on a Friday and Saturday night they're in a championship. I just think it makes for a great story. So I don't know where we'll end up with that, and certainly whatever the presidents and the AD and Commissioner Phillips decide is best. But if you're asking me personally, I love to see everyone go.
Coach, right side, third row. Raise your hand, please.
Corey Smith with Pack Pride. Kevin, kind of feeding off the MJ Rice question from earlier, has there been any update at this point on his potential return to the team, and what would it mean to this team to have him back in that rotation as well?
Yeah, MJ is back working out with our strength coach, Pat Murphy, and trying to get him into some type of basketball shape. And, certainly, Corey, you've seen him and multiple times, and he can play multiple positions, and he's physical, he can defend and everything else. So it would be very good to have him back into the rotation. There's no timetable. I don't know what that is. Everything's going to be a day-by-day situation, but he is doing some things with our strength coach.
We're going to come to the first row.
Hey, guys. Good. How you doing? Good. The guy got his cell phone up here. Don't worry about it. If it rings, don't answer.
Coach, right here, first row to your right.
Dan Tortora, wakeupcalldt.com. Coach, going off of the fact that you want every team in the ACC, when it expands to 18, to be in the ACC tournament, what are your thoughts on the mega conferences now and the fact that we're ballooning to 16, 18, some trying to potentially get to 20?
I decided a long time ago not to even get involved with that. Like, I have no idea what we're going to look like in 2 years, next year, the year after that. I didn't get, when I took the job at NC State, I didn't get the chance, the choice to say whether I'm playing at Boston College, where I'm going to Miami. I'm going to go wherever they tell me. And it's just about that. A lot of the decisions, as you guys know, are based on football. And that's what it is, and it's revenue, and it's everything else. And I just want to do my part at NC State.
Coach, from the podium, this will be your 7th season as a head coach, but it's the 7th time that your leading scorer hasn't come back. I don't know if there's a question there.
What are you trying to make me cry? What are you doing?
No. I guess part of the question is, and I know it's the wrong way to put it, but how do you find peace with that? How do you get used to it? What is it about your rhythm as a head coach that still allows you to be successful, knowing that that's what you're up against?
Well, I'm an opportunity coach. And so though we lost to Quavion Smith and Jarkel Joyner, I don't know which one was which. I know they both were around 17 points a game. Then I'm really hoping, I hope they're listening a little bit. I'm hoping we can get something from DJ Burns. Maybe he can be the leading scorer and guy who's leaving, or Casey Borsell. Oh, I didn't see y'all right there, but it's an opportunity. You're gonna, in today's world, you're gonna lose some really good basketball players, and you got to figure out, what you're gonna do. We went out and we recruited, 7 transfers and 1 freshman. Maybe one of those guys can lead us and do it in a different way. But I think we got really 2 good veteran guys who had a really good year for us last year. One of the reasons why we made it to the tournament and won 23 games. But to answer your question, I didn't even know that until I got here and somebody told me that right now. So now that I know, I got to start looking at it a little bit more. Maybe I need to cut back on some of those leading scorer shots that they're taking now.
Well, in all fairness, that's a good communications director feeding me that note, so yeah, I appreciate that. Coach, we'll have you switch places with Casey. Casey, you can spend a few minutes with us.
Hey, good luck, okay? Yeah, you want me to have your phone?
Yeah, you got it, man. You got it.
Folks, once again, please identify yourselves. And Casey, if you want to pull those mics up a little bit, you can do that.
What do you mean?
I didn't say anything. I'm just saying.
Where are we going?
Who would like a question for Casey? We'll go 3rd row, Casey, to your right, or 4th row, it doesn't matter. Whichever of the 2 would like to go first.
Casey, Corey Smith with Pack Pride. Just obviously a different, not a different role for you going into this year, but a different opportunity for you, obviously being a guy that returns with several backcourt pieces being gone from last year. What do you see as your role heading into this year and being more of a leader heading into the season too?
Yeah, like you said, it's definitely a bigger opportunity with a lot of guys leaving. But one of the biggest things I got to be is more aggressive on the offensive end, be more versatile in terms of scoring the ball. Last year was definitely good to kind of shoot the ball in terms of especially the catch and shoot, but just adding more to the game to help the team, to help the offense, which will help the team kind of be more successful.
Casey, the gentleman right behind him to the right.
Miles Mastercole with Pack Pride. Your role has obviously evolved over the course of your time at NC State, and now you kind of find yourself as the elder statesman of the group. What kind of leadership role are you taking on in the locker room and with the guys this season?
Yeah, well, of course, just being more vocal. I feel like that's the biggest piece, especially with a group of new guys. You definitely got to be more vocal, and just being a guy who really builds strong relationships off the court. Because as a leader, it's easier to kind of coach and direct guys and tell people where to go when you have that strong relationship off the court.
Casey, right side, 1st row.
Dan Tortora, wakeupcalldt.com. Casey, you decided to leave Virginia to come to NC State, believing that this was the right fit for you. What is it about Kevin Keatts, his message, and his leadership that spoke to you and continues to?
Yeah, okay. All right, man. See, there you go. There you go. Man, come on, man. Well, the biggest thing about NC State was it started off as just belief, right? Like, I think throughout the whole recruiting process, believing in the fact that, what you bring is valuable. And, bro, why are you still recording? But no, and then also the development piece. Being able to kind of develop on and off the court. But in terms of just my game, being in a position where now I feel confident taking shots that I work on every day, being able to make more plays. That's kind of the biggest reason why I chose State, man. But this man, All right, man. Yeah, you can click it. You can click it now. Yeah, go ahead.
You got it.
Well, Casey, now that Coach got what he needed, you can switch places with DJ.
Man, I got you, man.
DJ, again, if you want to push the mics up a little bit, you can. Questions for DJ Burns. DJ will go to the right side, second row here, right up against the wall.
Colby Trotter, the technician. So last year, as the season progressed, you became more of an offensive hub and like using your playmaking ability to get guys like Casey Morcell open shots. Is that something that you want to do more of this year, being a playmaker, especially having shooters like Casey Morcell with you?
Yes, sir. Coach did a great job of going out and recruiting some players who can really go. So I definitely plan on taking advantage of that and using it to our advantage. Our guys work really hard, and I'm going to find them every time I can if I don't have a shot. So that's definitely an emphasis for sure.
We're going to go right side, third row.
Brian Pirtle, Pack Pride. There we are. Hello. Okay. Brian Pirtle, Pack Pride. Just a lot. You mentioned a little bit. A lot of new faces in the front court with the transfer portal. Just what's the dynamic like with you guys? And just talk a little bit about what Diarra and Middlebrooks and all those guys bring to the table.
I feel like everyone brings something unique to the table. I feel like all the pieces fit well together, and we just got to continue to put them together and make sure that they mesh at the rate that we need to be able to perform. But again, all thanks to Coach. He came out and he gave us a lot of good pieces that fit well together. So I'm very excited to see how it plays out.
DJ, what was it about your game in which you did not start the first 10 games of last season, but then all of a sudden you were there? I mean, you just showed up. Where is it that drive or that energy came from?
It was already there. I just decided to stay patient and wait on my opportunity instead of getting rattled. Unfortunately, it happened at the hands of one of my teammates getting hurt, but for me, it's been a blessing to be able to be here and be able to take on and expand my role. It's been everything to me.
Thank you. We're going to go towards the back. Right side.
Richton Cunningham, Fox Sports Radio Charlotte. DJ, is there a particular player that you grew up watching or a player that you kind of like to model your game after or take tips from?
I'm going to be honest. I've always been big on having a footwork. I feel like, playing in the post is something that people have kind of shied away from, and it's something that I've always embraced, and I feel like it's made me different. I would say I watched a lot of Hakeem Olajuwon growing up. I just happened to end up with the Zach Randolph build.
Speaking of light on your feet, Coach Keats believes you need to be on Dancing with the Stars because of that footwork.
Yeah, you might have to teach me the dancing part, but I got the footwork.
To the right side, first row.
Dan Tortora, wakeupcalldt.com. DJ, you also transferred into the program. What was it about Kevin Keats, in your opinion, about his vision and his mission that spoke to you? And if you want to give him your phone, he can record this one too.
Oh, no, I left my phone down there. Smart man. But with Coach Keats, I've played for, this is the fourth staff I've played for now, so it really wasn't hard to tell who's more personable and who's more going to be allowing me to be in a family setting. And that's something that I initially learned from Coach Keats just off the first night there. How he interacted with my parents and my sister, that was very important to me. And then, staying the weekend, he interacted with me as well. I got to see all the facilities, and it just felt like the right fit from the jump. I don't even think I took another visit after my NC State visit. It just felt like home.
DJ, last question. What do you want to be when you grow up?
A basketball player first, and then honestly, my goal is to use my sociology degree and the certificate that I'm working towards now. I want to work in the therapy field and possibly, have my own firm one day. That's a goal, main goal.
NC State, good luck this year. Folks, thanks for the time. Pitt is due up next at 3:30.